What's up, everyone? I'm your host, H, and with me is.
Big Mike from Big Mike's Real Reviews.
All right, so H&M at the movies.
Here we
And
go.
they ain't at the movies, but, we got something to talk about. So,
Yeah,
as you can probably see behind me, Scary Movie,
yeah.
first 25 this year.
Man, 25. I saw that in the theater, bro.
Yeah,
25 years.
yeah. So, what we're going to do, we're going to cover the background of the movie, what we thought about the movie then and now, and does it hold up? Does it hold up? So, Mike, I'll start off with you.
Okay.
You got a chance to watch it. I'm assuming when did you watch it? And
Last night.
me too. And how'd it go?
It was a lot that I did remember. It was subtle details that I didn't. I do feel like, and here's the thing, I do feel like some of it held up, but some of the jokes are dated just because like they were of that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, if they were watching that now, they would not know what the fuck those mean. Like, because it was just like, little pop culture things from that era, from 2000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you just weren't alive or, never heard of it, then you just wouldn't know.
Right. Yeah, because we did the same thing. We watched it last night, and as we were talking about before we started the show, we went ahead and watched part 2. And what we'll get into later on is whether or not the quality of the Skinny movies afterwards, whether or not they were any good. But that is its own story. We'll come to that in a second. But yeah, it's just like what you said, man. It's one of those movies. It was definitely a product of its time.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, it's kind of sad that they don't do these types of movies anymore, because it's also
parodies
of the Naked Gun series with Leslie Nielsen, where everything is just like
Airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because parodies, even when I was growing up, parody movies was like some of my favorite. I love parody movies. What's the other one? The Top Gun parody. What's it called?
I know which one you're talking about.
Hot Shots. Hot Shots. With Charlie Sheen. Yep. I loved Hot Shots growing up. I loved all those movies. They were so funny.
Because the crazy part is they were subtle but in your face at the same time.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, and I definitely can't remember the name of this one, because Rashida Jones, Quincy's daughter, she had a TV series. It was a cop series that was on for a hot minute, and made it 3 seasons. I'll look it up later, but that was pretty good.
It's not Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's not that one.
No. Because this is done in the same vein as those movies we just talked about, where everything was just like a sight gag.
All right.
But Scary Movie, in essence, it took like some of the most popular things at the time, being Scream.
Yeah,
I know you did last summer.
Yep.
And on the quick slid in Usual Suspects.
It did.
Real quick. And it was doofuses. I don't know what, man. I mean, casting. And the thing, first of all, Carmen Electra, we haven't seen her in a hot minute.
No, and that's the other thing. Like, it was huge to have her in it at the time.
Yeah.
But I feel like, even like I said, if you weren't alive then, you wouldn't even, like, people might not even know who she is.
Right.
Which is crazy, because if you were alive at that time, how popular she was then.
Yeah, because
she was a huge sex symbol.
Right, because which they referenced, she was dating a very famous celebrity at that point too. But this was also the first time I got exposed to Anna Faris and Regina Hall.
Yeah,
because Regina Hall was in this, and also she was in was it Best Man?
I believe so. Yeah,
I think it was Best Man. Yeah. Those were the first, like, the early times of that, and she's still fine. I don't care what you say. 25 years later, she's still
crack,
bruh. Nah. And the weigh-ins. Okay. Here's the thing, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Matter of fact, we may as well go on to talk about. So like I said, they took the plot of all those movies.
Yeah.
Had all these little sight gags and stuff. And like I said, it was definitely a product of its time, because first of all, let's look at Shawn Wayans' character.
Right.
Who, low key gay, but not.
Right, because he didn't want to come out. Like, now it's like, why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why is it a secret?
You know what? I'm going to say it because I'm of the older generation now. I think a lot of today's kids watching this, young adults, they would cringe.
Yeah, they probably be a little triggered.
Right, they'll be a little sensitive to that because, again, this was a product of its time. It was a joke. It was an in-your-face joke.
Right.
But now like, oh, that's not right. Like, it was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, comedy to me, just like, and this is what I do love. I love how because comedy is just that. It always has been. But now you have, like you said, people who are just hypersensitive and trying to like cancel Dave Chappelle, and he is literally uncancelable.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't care. He's still making money, he's still getting specials, he's still out there. It's like, it's comedy, and you can't label him as anything because that's what I hate about that one where it was like, oh, he's homophobic or whatever. It was like, no, he started the story saying this was one of his good friends. That's where he started the story.
Yes.
So
the thing of it is, when you look at everyone from like Dave Chappelle on back, and I'm picking Dave Chappelle purposefully because he was, like, in my opinion, the last really good black comic.
Yes.
That had a show. But when you start from him and you start going back, you want to talk about cancellation. There are hundreds of people that you would have to cancel.
I feel like the hypersensitive people now, if they would watch some of the old comedy routines, their heads would just explode. It would be like, wow.
Yeah. Because the thing was, we knew they were jokes.
Yeah.
But I digress. But the thing with this movie, like I said, it was so many little things. And the crazy part is, 25 years later, you could still watch this and see stuff that you missed.
Yep. Speaking of,
yeah,
after 25 years, I've seen that movie countless times. For some reason, last night, I was like, let me just fast forward, right? I fast forward. I never knew there was a post-credit scene for 25 years.
Yeah.
There was a post-credit scene.
I knew. I still got the DVD.
I mean, I guess I never, that's the thing though. I have the DVD too, but I never went, like, I guess, past the credits. I didn't even think about it.
Once it went off, like, okay, it's over.
Right. Now it's so ingrained in us to check. And I was like, and I just looked and I was like, holy shit, there is one. Because I mean, Ferris Bueller had one back in, what was that, 85, 86?
Yeah.
Because even Deadpool referenced that one. But the only reason I caught that back in the day is because I was watching on HBO when I was a kid. And I think I just like let the credits play. And I was like getting a snack. And then I was like, oh, what's this? And then I found out that it was a scene after the credits.
Yeah. Yeah. But there was to me a lot that made me laugh. And the crazy part still, and this isn't spoiling it too much. When you think of how, even as much as they parallel Scream, Scream.
Yeah.
They still did it in such a way, like, wait a minute, how did this one and both, and like, it was still done well.
Yeah.
Because there's this one scene where one of the people that was doing all the killing was in the same scene with the actual killer who was in the background doing
yeah. It's like, how did this happen again?
Yeah.
But again, if you watch Scream, you get the reference.
Right. What was some of the funniest references to you that, regardless of how old this movie is still funny to you?
Of course, that scene was always classic.
Yeah,
because of how popular those commercials were.
Yeah.
What other parody? Oh, also the one that really got me was, I think it was Scream 2 parody of the whole movie theater scene.
Yes.
And in the bathroom with the
yes.
Because in Scream 2 it was Omar Epps and it was a knife.
Yeah.
But yeah, that always got me. That always got me. Do it again. Man.
You know what I still laugh at because sadly I still use it because matter of fact I use it sometimes when I'm watching a horror movie when they ask Shorty Marlon Wayans who's still funny as
yeah
what would you say to the young girl that I murdered? Run, bitch, run! Because I see something now and I see somebody doing like run, bitch, run!
Yeah, run! Why are you standing there?
I like. Oh, wait a minute, hold up, and don't forget how they low key kept pulling up stuff from like Buffy and Dawson's Creek.
Oh, right, because they even had James Vanderbeek poke his head into the window, and he's like, "Oh, wrong set." And that's another thing. That's another thing that a lot of people reference that people wouldn't get.
Right?
They weren't they weren't alive in the year 2000. They wouldn't. They were like, "Who's that guy? And what's that music?" You know, because that was the theme for that show.
Right, but again, that's what made these sight gag type movies so great. Is like they sampled it. It literally was just like pop culture sampling.
Yes,
that's what it was. It was pop culture sampling because they could pick something up, and then what made it even funnier is if it worked well in the scene, you knew exactly where it came from.
Yep.
Because again, that's why the "What's Up" part worked so well. Because when Budweiser did the whole "What's Up" thing, the commercials by themselves were funny. Yeah. But then to see them integrated into this movie with the Colt 45 beer, and you know what? They low key did prophesizing in that movie. Colt 45.
Yep.
I don't think they knew. But that's what made them work so well. It's pop culture sampling. We're gonna take a little bit of this. We're gonna take a sprinkling of that. Yep. You know, they even did a little thing with Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, with the
just not coming out
of
it.
Yep.
And I hated
that. That was the first like found footage type movie, and then that got super popular for a while just because Blair Witch blew up, and then they're like, oh, everything has to be found footage now.
Yeah. And the crazy part is this movie made damn near $300 million off of a $19 million budget.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was a what do you call it? A shoestring budget?
Yes.
Yeah. That's how you make money hand over foot.
It's kind of movie though.
Cause think about it, right? If a Marvel movie made $300 million, they'd be like, it was a flop.
It broke even.
Right. A flop or broke even.
Right.
But you know, the cost of Marvel movies, it most likely would be a flop.
Yeah.
But like you said, this movie was made off, you said 13 million?
19
million.
Yeah.
And made 300.
Yep.
Dude, that's like what? 300-400% profit?
Yep.
Come on.
And that's when they made sequels, but we'll come to that in a second. You know, and the other thing too, low key, that I think a lot of people missed was the fact that even when Damon, oh that's right, yeah, and Damon made a sneak peek through there too. When Shawn Wayne is towards the end of the movie, he goes on his rant, and then he low key mentions, "This is for canceling our show."
Yeah. He's like, "The Wayans Brothers was a good show. We didn't even get a final episode."
Yeah, they did a lot to keep this movie together, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But the thing was, you get to the second one, you know what? See, and it's always this way with sequels. Sequels, unless your name is The Empire Strikes Back, are rarely ever better than the
Back
first.
to the Future 2. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Back to the Future 2 to me was better than Back to the Future.
The crazy thing, that's the only between that and Lord of the Rings. Well, Lord of the Rings was purposely designed this way, but
they got Lord of the Rings got progressively better. I thought each movie outdid the last.
But those are the only movies where if you were to somehow stitch them together without credits, you could run. From back to front,
100%
without credit. But we digress. But when you got the Scary Movie 2, because for lack of nothing, we went on ahead and watched it last night.
Okay,
it was good. It still had its funny moments, but
it still had like a couple. Classic moments.
Yeah, the basketball dribbling.
That's my strong hand. Like that. I think out of any scary movie, if you think about it, out of all of them, that is the most remembered and referenced would be that. And that was in the second one.
Yeah. That the basketball dribbling and all that stuff.
Yeah. That was that old Nike commercial. And again, if you weren't alive, you wouldn't understand the reference.
Right. Because again, and they had to reach deep in the bag for this one because, in my opinion, that's kind of when the horror movie started kind of jumping off a cliff because they were riffing off The Exorcist, which was a good start.
Yeah.
But then you also had Stigmata, you had The Haunting, Legend of Hell House, another classic.
Yep.
Poltergeist, classic. So like they were reaching a little deeper in the bag.
Yeah.
To try to keep it relevant. But when the franchise jumped off the cliff was the third one. And what happened on the third one, sir?
The Wayans were booted.
Yeah.
The studio took their IP, which is intellectual property.
Yep.
And because technically the studio owned it, even though it was their IP, and they booted the Wayans and just did whatever they wanted to do. And then it just went to shit.
Yeah. 3 more sequels after that.
Yep.
Which they didn't need.
Yeah. And which did not include the Wayans brothers who
at all
came up with the whole thing.
Right. Because the craziest part too, when you think about it, was they still managed to find ways in the second one to bring most of the primary cast back, even though most of them got killed in the first.
But that's also part of the funny thing of a parody movie.
Right.
Because if you think about it, when you mentioned The Naked Gun,
yeah,
and OJ Simpson, and he came back for like every movie, but remember the first one, like he got like really messed up, like almost killed, and it was just like he kept coming back,
like nothing happened.
But it was just, it's so funny that doesn't age well when you go back now and watch like OJ Simpson.
No, they don't. They do not. So look, we're gonna wrap this up.
All right.
If anyone out there wants to venture out and find Scary Movie, it's on Paramount Plus. I believe it's on Max as well.
Okay.
But
I watched it on Paramount.
That's why I watched it through. Like I said, I believe it's on Mac, but just do a quick search. If I still have my original DVD.
Yeah.
Not the Blu-ray, my original DVD.
Yep.
And it's still kind of a quiet month right now. We'll probably pull something up next week. Also at the same time too, we reviewed Gladiator 2 a couple months back.
Yep.
It's on Prime.
It is on Prime. I noticed that. I was like, okay. I was surprised.
I'm going to watch it, but I still want the Blu-ray.
Yes, it was good, really good.
Regardless. So, where can people find you, sir?
Big Mike's Reel Reviews, REEL, as in a movie reel.
Yep.
On all social media platforms.
Yep. And you all can find me over at Harry Cinematic Universe on Instagram and TikTok for however long it lasts.
Hey, no, thanks to our Lord and Savior Donald Trump. He's the one who saved TikTok when he was the one who tried to ban it. Whatever. Bullshit. But people fall for, whatever.
Bullshit. Oh, excuse me. All right, we out, y'all. Peace.